Please be advised that this video is for the sole purpose of entertainment. Any views are purely my own, are subjective and may not necessarily be true. I do, however, do extensive research for all of my videos. All photos have been found on the public domain. I am using them under the fair use and fair dealing guidelines. I urge everybody to do their own research. Well, hello, it's Murky Meg here. It's Friday the 22nd of May and this video is going to be slightly different. Now I thought I would have a look at the most recent US tabloids or magazines. You know, the press that she said didn't really exist and there wasn't a tabloid culture that, according to her, was vicious. Well, it turns out she's completely wrong and I'm going to prove that. Over the last couple of weeks, I have been delving into any magazine that I can find worldwide, but predominantly in the US, just to prove the fact that what she said was incorrect. I found some scathing articles with regards to Harry and Meghan. So it's kind of like trying to prove the point that she is a hypocrite. And the fact that she says that the tabloid negative culture doesn't exist in America is downright lunacy, because it does. And here's why. I'm going to start with the most damaging, in my personal opinion, and it's from The Globe last week. It says that lonely Harry is rushed to a psych ward. Article starts with homesick, henpecked and royal outcast Prince Harry suffered a shocking mental breakdown and was secretly rushed to a Californian psychiatric facility for urgent treatment, sources tell Globe in a bombshelled worldwide exclusive. Worried friends say the stress of quitting his royal duties for an unknown life in Los Angeles with American wife Meghan triggered post-traumatic stress syndrome in the fragile Duke of Sussex. Harry admits he can't believe how his life has been turned upside down, a senior royal courtier reveals. Meghan forced him to ditch his family, friends, and a country to chase her Hollywood dream. But it's turning into his worst nightmare. He feels lost and alone. He has no friends there. The only people they see are the A-listers his controlling wife is courting to jumpstart her career and make her a superstar. Ouch! I mean, that's pretty damaging, isn't it? Not only do they out and out call her controlling and manipulating, but they're saying that he's extremely fragile and very unhappy. It continues and it gets worse. Harry's old pals fear she's using him and her fierce ambition will destroy him. It even goes into some detail about what happened late last year when they were apparently in Canada. It said late last year his demons exploded again while the Sussexes were holed up in a $14 million mansion in Vancouver Island, Canada. Specialists moved in to the house to deliver intensive inpatient therapy as he wrestled with the stunning plot to escape royal life. Can you remember? Because the Brexit bomb hadn't actually been dropped yet. That is a pretty damning article, to be perfectly honest, but you have to take everything with a pinch of salt because it's the Globe, and I'm told the Globe is the worst of the worst when it comes to tabloid magazines in America. That everything you read, you have to kind of look at it with a slant and go, yeah, as if. But I'm just trying to prove the point that American tabloid culture is just as bad, if not worse, than the media in the UK that she is using as a scapegoat for the victim narrative and a racist narrative as well. Another example, which is no idea, now I know this technically isn't a US magazine, but I've included it anyway. Apparently, Harry and Meghan are renewing their vows because, 2 years just is too long to go without another marriage. They also say that Beatrice and Edo are going to replace Harry and Meghan, not just in the royal family, but also in Frogmore Cottage. They say that they are going to take over the cottage once they are married. I don't think that's going to happen because apparently Harry and Meghan, this £18 million per month is rental plus, which means that they are trying to keep hold of it should Harry want to come back to Britain anytime soon. She's not coming, I don't think. Another example is the fact that they have been allegedly clashing against the way that they want their career to progress. It's apparently said that things got really tense after Meghan suggested they get a small camera crew to follow their first steps in Hollywood after her home video went down so well. That's the video of her and Archie. She's pressing for a somewhat reality-esque style of following them, just like the Kardashians, and he isn't quite so keen. This particular article which I found in Heat World really does kind of home down on the polar opposites of the two between Harry and Meghan. They say that while Meghan grew up in LA and was already a regular on the showbiz circuit by the time she met Harry, he's been thrown in the deep end with their big move into the world and he's not familiar with. Now, after dropping his military titles and being forced to postpone the Invictus Games, the sporting event for injured servicemen and women, which he founded, with Meghan pushing ahead with their starry plans, we're told that Harry's feeling increasingly unsure. He keeps thinking about what his mates in the army will make of it all. Well, to be fair, Harry, I don't think that's what you should be worried about, to be perfectly honest. I think you need to look much more into home about your worries, because I think that Meghan is solely planted in Hollywood now. She is an ambitious lady and she will go after everything she can. And these are just a fraction of some of the tabloid articles that I found. And I'm using another example from the Globe, this time this week's, and it says that my way or the highway. Divorce fears keep Harry from making peace with his family, says the tormented Prince Harry. Desperate bid to make peace with the royal family spectacularly exploded in a divorce ultimatum from his diva wife, Meghan. Stunned spies tell the Globe. In a furious confrontation, the former actress told her henpecked husband, "It's me or them," then stormed out with year-old son Archie in her arms on the verge of their second wedding anniversary. Well, we've had all the puff pieces from them going, oh, they were just having a quiet day reflecting, and they exchanged beautiful cotton gifts, thoughtful. This was what the UK media reported, how their gifts were thoughtful and that they were being reflective and they had downtime, that they weren't working. Yet the US tabloids are going hell for leather on divorce speculation. I can't understand why she didn't know about this. Or she knew about it and she was just lying like always, just to suit the narrative that she was trying to push on that South African documentary. Meghan has form with kind of retelling history in a way that suits her. A prime example of this is when she was in Australia and she said on a podium that she paid for her entire education. We know that that's a lie. We know, and we have seen receipts from Thomas to say that he paid for her education. This Globe article goes on even worse. It says that Harry's dream of living a quiet life out of the royal fishbowl with his wife and son, the family he's always wanted, just turned into a nightmare inside the dishes. I'm told Meghan went berserk after learning Harry was secretly negotiating to end their royal exile and screamed, "You can go back, but Archie and I are staying in America." Harry was devastated. Harry blames Meghan for masterminding their disastrous We Quit move to America and promised he'd make his wife toe the royal line this time, a palace source says. But Meghan wants no part of it. She knows she's worn out her royal welcome with her diva demands, temper tantrums and publicity stunts and just wants to get on with her celebrity life. She warned Harry to make the right decision or realise you'll never see your son again. I mean, that's double ouch, isn't it? They're implying that she is laying down the law and saying it's her way or no way at all. And if you don't say it's my way, then I'll take Archie along with me and you'll never see him again. Well, first of all, she can't actually do that. And second of all, it's preposterous to even suggest that somebody from the world's most famous, most powerful families can't make anything happen. Something needs to be done with regards to this narrative that Meghan is implying, that it's always the British tabloids that are making her life hell, when in fact it's all of the tabloids. Only a small handful, like People magazine, Oprah magazine and Harper's Bazaar, are the sycophantical ones that are really laying on thick sugar, sweetness and light. Now, In Touch this week goes into more detail of this so-called diary that Meghan keeps. It's quite normal to keep a diary, but now some pals allegedly are saying the palace is in a panic over what is in the diary. And what if it falls into the wrong hands? It's full of jaw-dropping secrets that the royal family would never want the world to know. And they go into details. I don't know how they've got this, whether this is just circumstantial or whether it's made up or whether or not one of Meghan's friends is secretly telling things to In Touch. It says that parts of the diary are very touching while other parts are explosive and will rock the royals. They even go into details of Meghan's relationship with the Queen and how she was extremely hurt and upset and humiliated that the details of the tiara incident were leaked to the press, and apparently she was in tears in front of the Queen. That I don't believe, to be perfectly honest. It's either that or they were crocodile tears. They also touch on the fact that Meghan felt that the royal family favoured William and Kate over Harry and Meghan, and that they favoured them with regards to sticking up with them in the media and didn't for Harry and Meghan. And it's quoted that Meghan has been said that the way Meghan sees it, the royals threw her to the wolves. Now this is very interesting indeed because it actually mentions on the rumour that William had an affair. And it says that Meghan has more to say about William. Last year, rumours emerged that the British media that the Duke of Cambridge had an affair with Kate's friend and their country neighbour, Rose Hanbury. It implies that this was the reason that Harry and William fell out, was the fact that Harry berated William for having an affair. I've never heard an affair mentioned in any British tabloids whatsoever. But what I do know is that rumour was started by Meghan's fans. I've heard that. Maybe that is true, maybe it is not, but that's what social media has been saying. It's either that or it was actually planted by somebody else within the royal family, if you catch my drift. And this week's National Enquirer is just astounding, actually calls them freeloaders. Now, this is obviously because they are staying rent-free, apparently, in Tyler Perry's mansion in Hollywood. It also alleges that, now this made me really, really laugh. How this can be true, I don't know. It alleges that Harry has appointed George Clooney his personal therapist. That's just laughable. My point in case is that nobody is exempt from tabloid scrutiny, and it's not a divide between English and American. It's everywhere. So believe them or don't believe them, that's entirely your choice. But they're out there regardless of what you have to say. No amount of lawsuits or puff pieces will ever stop the gossip nature that is embedded in worldwide tabloid culture. So if you were to read an article, irrelevant of where it came from, would you believe it, depending on the source that it came from? Or would you just think they're all fair game? Do you look at certain magazines and kind of raise an eyebrow and go, that's from such and such, that's completely nonsense and made up? Or if it comes from a more reputable source, you go, I quite believe that one, that must be true. Does it matter which tabloid publication a story comes from, whether you believe it or not? Or do you look at certain publications and think, no, they really aren't that trustworthy? Do you think there is a reason why Meghan said that in the US they don't have the tabloid culture, apparently, like we do in the UK? Yes, we are world renowned to be a little boisterous, should we say? But I've just proved that other countries have this too. It's not just about the UK media, it's worldwide media. So why isn't Meghan going after these as well? Because I've just proved to you some of these are pretty shocking allegations. Do you believe everything that you read, or do you look at things with a slightly sceptical slant and use caution when reading any article? That's what I tend to do. I would love to know your thoughts on this subject. Whether or not you're based wherever you are in which worldwide country, is your tabloid culture as bad as the UK is thought to have been? Because let's face it, this is a multi-billion-pound industry that is based on circumstance and salacious information, and it's human nature to want to be titillated and to gossip. Everybody does it. When you read these articles, does it give you a little kind of, ooh, that's a bit juicy, doesn't it? Or do you just think, that's a load of rubbish? I would love to know your thoughts on this. This is something that has really intrigued me. And as always, let me know your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.